I believe in the possibility of anything, and so I don't really look at the world and its and the potential many layers to existence with any degree of cynicism or skepticism. So I've always really been interested in the paranormal. I think ghosts and UFOs, interdimensional beings, whatever. I find it all fascinating. I've always loved, even since I was a kid, I loved hearing people's real stories, and I would always ask people if they had any paranormal stories to share, and I was always fascinated by it. So that's kind of the base that I've always operated from. And then I don't have personal experiences to draw upon. I've never seen a UFO, I've never had any kind of particular experience in that realm. I've had some paranormal adjacent / actual paranormal experiences that are very minor, but believable and interesting. But nothing like, no grand story that's sort of earth-shattering. But enough to sort of support my belief that anything's possible. And then, now, you're speaking of the sort of UAP disclosure, that there's potentially a lot of cover-up. This is something I think has been hypothesized for a long time, right? That those who do have these experiences are being, their experiences are being covered up, or maybe even, potentially led astray by the government so that they don't really see what's really going on. These are all these sort of dynamics that seem to be at play. It makes sense that there would be information that, world powers would have that we wouldn't have access to. There's some wild evidence. There's been so many incredible, ex-military people who have come forward with their own experiences that are pretty undeniable, and they have no real reason to sort of lie or fabricate these things. So it's very compelling and interesting. And it does feel like, weirdly, we're on the maybe brink of real disclosure of that information, which would be fascinating. Who knows? But like I said, there are people in my life who are more invested in it than I am, but I'm a curious person that believes in the possibility of anything, and it does feel like there's something percolating.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.